There's Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV. Carcass, we make a return. We've got the record Heartwork today. 10 tracks. Whereas the last record had 8, and we're still making up for a lack of them 2 songs by... Well, let me pull myself together, people. What I'm trying to say, or what I was attempting to put into words, is that the last song we had 7, 8 tracks, and we're looking at about, 45, I think it's 49 minutes of material over them tracks. So we're having like 3 songs on that record being over 7 minutes from what I remember. Whereas today we've got 10 tracks and we're looking at, generally speaking, under 4 minutes. But yeah, we've got one up 5 minutes. To be honest, we got a varied bunch of song lengths on this, but song lengths that suit me a little bit better. So this is going to be good. I'm interested to see what goes on here, because the last 2 records have been very good as far as the sound is concerned. I've been very impressed with this band's capabilities of how to structure riffs and sound unique and sound intense without the need of like overtly distorting the sound. I mean, of course, the roots of this band is a whole new thing to talk about. But as far as the death metal is considered, hey. But this one goes out to my man Nick, who's recommended this on the Patreon. And without further ado, let's jump in. This first one's entitled Buried Dreams. Let me just get me audio locked and loaded. Right, let's go, people. Come on. Matt Fake says, best guitar tone on any metal record ever. It's a smooth guitar tone, I'll tell you that much. DiMarzio Super Distortion, someone referenced. It's guitar pickup. I used to have one of them in an Ibanez guitar of mine, believe it or not. That was Buried Dreams. That was an interesting start to the record. We've switched it up a little bit. First and foremost, the guitar tone's different. Second, we've started off, at the very least, we've started off the record with a relatively simple stomper of a track. Instrumentally speaking, we're not necessarily delving into the extremities of death metal where we were in the last records, but that was the first track. I have no doubt as well that we've got the same drummer on this record as we've had, because we've got that trademark simplistic tinging. And with that being said, if it is the same drummer or if it is a different drummer, could this band do with a better one at this point, like a more technical drummer? There's only one way to find out, and that's to continue on through this record. We've got Carnal Forge, track 2 coming up. There's ROCKSTEADY at King of the Pit TV. We're listening to Carcass. Carnal Forge is the title of this track. It's number 2 of 10 on Heartwork. Let's go. Here we go. Thrash. Metal Meister says they definitely had an influence on deathcore. To some extent, some faint little touch maybe. I wouldn't call them shrieked vocals, but them grim sort of vocals, maybe erring into like the deathcore shriek. And of course, if we're rooting this record as a core act, if you're to reference the whole death grind sort of thing. Very, very indirectly, potentially. Who knows? Someone said that's the point. I had an influence on deathcore, meaning that this influenced the style of deathcore that would happen in the future. Well, let's continue listening to this record and see if it makes sense. So far, no. Wow. Tasty that. Come on. We definitely probably got a more mid-tempo record. It's like the same experience I'm going through with Sepultura at the moment. I've reached the 90s with Sepultura, and am I right in saying things tend to slow down a little bit once we touch the 90s? Once we start to go into the years of the 90s towards the middle ground, these metal bands start to slow themselves down a little, you know, tempo-wise. A lot more melody in this. How's that whilst my guitar gently weeps then? We've got a quite a lopsided pan going on here with where the instruments are placed in my headphones. My left ear is getting a lot of weight. That was Carnal Forge. I preferred that one to Buried Dreams. And there's actually a band called Buried Dreams. There's a hardcore band. Well, metal-tinged hardcore band. I think there might be a beatdown act, and they were called Buried Dreams. They played around here not so long. I'm just getting a phone call, people. Good timing, so I'll see you in a moment. Yo, mic check. Yes, now blessed. Now don't forget, rest now. There's ROCKSTEADY at King of the Pit TV. Between you and me, people, between this and the last song, where you might have seen me getting a phone call at the end of the video, I actually ordered a takeaway. I'm on bulking season, yeah. We eat everything and anything, getting strong. And you know what else I did? I had a little nap. I'm not going to lie to you, people. I had a little nap. I don't know how long I napped for. I tried my best to get back to sleep once I woke up, but here we are. My body didn't want to shut down, so No Love Lost is track numero 3. If you've seen me yawning a lot in the past few videos, I think I need to sort my life out, to be honest with you. I'm teetering the edge of a serious burnout. I think that's what my body and mind is trying to tell me. So, you never know. After today, Sunday tomorrow, I might have a day of rest, you know. Might have some fresh air or something. But with that being said, this entire play through goes out to my man Nick. This one's No Love Lost. Comes with a music video, but you know what we do over here. We don't mind the music videos too much. It's all about the music, innit? As if this band came from Liverpool. That's crazy, that. The guy's a vegan as well, Mr. Bill Steer. There's some fantastic guitar soloing on this record. Like, it's just very tasteful. There's some very tasteful guitar lead. Man, this is the boldest statement of all time. Bernardino Mendoza says best metal album of the 90s. Whoa. The 90s crazy though, innit? For metal. I wonder what records will be considered a classic in the decades to come from this particular era. These dudes essentially wrote a song in pop structure for the most part. We had plenty of chorus in there, haven't we? That was interesting. What a fan favourite, even though it came with a video, just judging by the view count. We've got the title track coming up, which has got, I don't know what you would call it, what? 2, 4, 6, 8, like, so many times the view count. So Heartwork, the self-titled, is probably going to be even better than what we've just had with No Love Lost. But that was a cool thing. What a change they've made on this record. This is a very progressive band in terms of their development over the years. If you heard that just then, you couldn't picture, reek of putrefaction, could you? That's incredible. Wow, what a switch. So we got Heartwork coming up next. There's ROCKSTEADY at King of the Pit TV. We're listening to Heartwork on the album Heartwork. This is track 4 of 10. Let's go. You know what? Someone in the comments section said this and it caught my eye. Because I've never heard this said before or seen it typed before. One of the most epic death metal songs ever. English death metal at its absolute best. Oh, you know what? English death metal at its best. I thought what he said was English death metal is the absolute best. I was about to say, the English aren't necessarily known for their death metal. You don't hear death metal in England praised really much, do you? That would have been the first time I've ever heard anybody like sort of hone in purely on England. Let's go. Let's go. Hard. Love the riff on this. These dudes are jamming. These dudes are so composed and tight and just jamming on this record that it sounds like backing tracks, you know. It sounds like just like metal backing track. And I say that respectfully. I just mean it's tight as hell, man. It's tight, it's catchy, it's groovy. And the drums are just on the dot, you know. Very good, very good. This album's got the best lead guitars on it as of so far, right? Really good. And that song, probably my favourite out of the bunch as of so far. I like the riffs. The riffs were really good. The bombado, that bit, I'm not too fussed about, you know, the chorusy bits, but there's a good thrash element in this record, I would say. Do you not think they've incorporated quite a lot of thrash metal into this? We've got Embodiment coming up next, track number 5. I'll see you there. Take your mama out all night. There's ROCKSTEADY, King of the Pit TV. Heartwork is the album we're listening to. It's devoted to my good friend Nicky P. What a legend. Recommended it on the Patron. Embodiment is the title of this one. Track 5 of 10. Let's go. Come on. A little bit metalcore, like 2000s metalcore. Sounds like a Bullet for My Valentine riff. Come on. Phoebe says that she loves Carcass in Friends, apparently. That's pretty good. Wow. Some great riffs on this track. Let's go. Let's go. That was good. Probably my favourite one so far. In my opinion, the best riffs that we've had in a song. Not just by one riff, but by multiple riffs. I thought the riffing was really good. That was a good tune. I enjoyed that one a lot. Like this band, you know, if I heard this band from this record, I'd think, oh, it's not necessarily my taste. This style of band isn't for me. But after hearing the journey they've taken and how they've gotten here, it gives me a different insight to this sound. They've softened the sound. Let's be real. They've really softened themselves up over the records, but it's mature. It's not like they've started from this spot. They've matured into this space, which just gives me a complete different perception. This Mortal Coil is coming up next. It's going to be track number 6. There's ROCKSTEADY at King of the Pit TV, signing in. This Mortal Coil is track number 6. We're listening to Heartwork tonight. Let's go. You won't believe how bright the sun is shining in my window right now. Jesus Christ. That was tight, eh? Very melodic riffs. Well, would you call that mellow death? I think I would personally. Especially with the blast. Sounded like something from Winter Sun, you know? That was a good track. It was a good sound. I enjoyed that one. It wasn't as good as what we had on Embodiment and This Mortal Coil, which were the 2 tracks prior, personally. I didn't think so. I see a little bit of a fashion as well from going to a mid-tempo sort of slower chug based song and then switching it up to a more extreme sort of thrash, if not, you know, grindier, or, you know, as we found there, mellow deaths, you know, situation. We're sort of bouncing from A to B to keep the album fresh. I can see that. We've got track 7 coming up next. There's ROCKSTEADY, King of the Pit TV, listening to Heartwork, Carcass, as devoted to my friend Nick, who recommended this via the Patreon. This is track 7 of 10, as I said. I bet Mac Flesh, I don't know what it means. I don't know how to pronounce it. Give me a break. Let's go. Let's go. Great riff. This record has got some fantastic riffs. I'm finding it hard to find any filler riffs. The riffing is absolutely brilliant. Melodic but not soft, you know? Very fun to listen to. quality record. This is really good. You know what? This is growing on me. This is really growing on me. Initially starting, I thought, okay, we're taking a more mainstream sound as opposed to where we've come from. But as we get through it, it's really growing on me as I start to see the big picture and start to hear the, you know, the creative element that supercharges this band. And it's really good. The riffing is very unique for extreme metal. And it's just, I'm really enjoying the record from this point. We've got Blind Bleeding the Blind coming up next. There's ROCKSTEADY, KOTP TV. We're listening to Carcass. I had some very positive things to say on that last one. We're going to continue onwards with Blind Bleeding the Blind. We're listening to Heartwork. This is track 8. Let's go. Ooh. I just sent a message to my mate saying this is a good record, and he says that Carcass are overrated. And I said, well, if Carcass are overrated, Napalm Death are overrated. And he says, never really got into Napalm Death either. And so we just did a bit of a back and forth. I said, Doom, underrated band. Extreme Noise Terror, underrated band, if we're going to play them games. Decent tune, not the best one. Let's be fair, it wasn't the best track on the record. There was no particular ideas in that one that really caught my ear, which I've had like existing throughout the entirety of this record up until now. We've got doctrinal expletives coming up next. I don't know what the hell that means. Do you? Do the band? Let's keep going. We got a band playing over here. Matinee show tomorrow. Who's got time for a matinee show? I've got no idea. An egg punk band called Prison Affair. I might get myself down to it, but I probably won't. Let's be fair. I'll probably sleep in and think, fuck that. Let's keep on going. Yes, now, bless now. Don't forget the rest now. There's ROCKSTEADY at King of the Pit TV signing in. I'm not going to try and pronounce this one again, but it's track number 9 of 10 on Heartwork. This entire playthrough has been devoted to my good friend Nick. Thank you for the recommendation, Nick. Said we need to move on with some Carcass. We need to get some Heartwork on. And here we are. As of so far, it's been a pretty good experience. I'm not going to lie. Let's go. Track number 9. Doctrinal expletives. The next track's called Death Certificate. That is a hard title for a song. That is hard. Let's go. Some riffing going on now. Let's go. There you go. Not a bad tune. Not a bad tune. Some great riffing as always. I like it. It was better than the Bleeding the Blind track. bro, what can I say? I mean, we're ever so consistent. We've got great guitar work throughout the record. This is a riff record. But it's not a riff record in your traditional sense, because these are your traditional style of riffs. They're brilliant riffs, and they're unique without sort of being so arty-farty that it's awkward, you know? It's not like you're listening to a prog band, or you're not necessarily listening to a mellow death band. What would you call it? What genre would you call this? I wouldn't touch grind. I don't know. Arguably, it's a mellow death band at this point. I would call it a melodic death metal band. We've got Death Certificate to finish this record off, which is like the hardest song title ever, and it's coming up next. I'll see you there. Yes, now blessed now. Don't forget the rest now. There's Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV, finalising this listen through by finishing off the Heartwork record, put out by Carcass. It was recommended by Nick on the Patreon, and it's been a good experience. Death Certificate is the title of the last track, and I think it's a hard title. Let's go. Let's see what the outro's saying. We had a great outro on the last record. Great legato. Oh. There you go. There you go. Finish with a little System of a Down. They're trying to build a prison. That was good. That was Death Certificate. We ended up with the groove again. I think on the last record we ended up with a just an open groove, which was just a fantastic finale to the record. And once again, we sort of incorporated that there on the last section within reason. That was Death Certificate, and it was a great tune. Fantastic guitar solo as per. That legato line was really good. It sounded like he played about 20 seconds worth of guitar solo after one pluck of the string. I'm going to do 2 more videos, yeah? One will be my final review of this record. I'll rate it out of 10 for you, so you'll see what I finally thought. And I'll take you over to the Wikipedia page. We're going to learn about this album and see a little bit of background information. I'll see you over there, people, alright? Let's keep on going. Let's keep the music flowing, yeah? Yo, yes, now bless. Now, don't forget the rest now, people. Des ROCKSTEADY at King of the Pit TV. I got a review for you, yeah? We just listened to Heartwork by Carcass. It was recommended on the Patreon by my friend Nick. Nicky P, as I like to call him. Now, we had 10 tracks on this record. As opposed to, and when I say as opposed to, I only heard the Necrotism album yesterday. So I'm flying through Carcass material right now, so I can compare and contrast pretty well, to be honest with you. So 10 tracks in relation to what the 8 tracks we had on the last record. Just as much content as far as song length is concerned. Purely is, we got 10 tracks here, probably averaging at around, call it 4 minutes 30 around. Whereas the last records, you know, we were over 7 minutes on numerous songs. So it sort of leverages out, it balances. There's a big change in the sound. It's still metal. The vocals are still harsh. Still the same vocal style and approach. But the riffs were more mid-paced. We've got more of a weight onto the guitars, more of a chug factor on the guitars. We're steering away from the death metal standard riffs, and we're entering a separate space, arguably what I could call mellow death. I think so. Pinning this record down to a genre is tough. It's very tough. Because I would not want to call this grind at all. I would not want to call it death grind. I wouldn't want to call it grind. To some extent, we're verging on groove metal from time to time. I can see somebody calling it that. The guitars are brilliant. The riffs are flipping good. Executed well and incredibly unique without being so, forced that it's just like an awkward proggy factor to the riff. Because sometimes when a band tries too hard to be unique, tries too hard to create something outside of the norm, it just is too ahead of its time and it doesn't correlate with the audience, i.e. me listening to the record, who wants to hear 4/4 riffs and grooves and head boppers, So we held on to that whilst adding a pizzazz we weren't getting across the board in, extreme metal, which is very good. Very unique, very cool. With that being said, we can move on to the lead guitars, which were fantastic. The guitar soloing was so tasteful, You think, oh, it's a metal lead guitar, it has to be shred. Oh, it needs to be, complicated, complex. Bruh, these dudes bypass all of that by just making it tasteful. The guitar solos were very, very mature. Clearly very good lead guitar work, Very professional lead guitar. The drumming must be the same drummer as what we had on the last record. I feel at this point the drummer might need to catch up, because I was thinking, although I did like the record a lot, I did think from time to time, imagine if the drummer was like a proper good drummer, like a proper good drummer. So I don't say that to be disrespectful. The drummer didn't hold back the record. The drumming didn't hold back the record whatsoever. The drummer did a great job. But it was... I did think, wow, we would really have a formidable force if the drummer was just like some virtuoso dude. And you could argue that with any band, couldn't you really? But I think this band in particular, you know, it would have been the case. Vocally, you know, we got the trademark sort of grim vocal. It was alright. It's not really my cup of tea as far as vocals are concerned. So, you know, I'll meet you halfway on that. I wasn't turned off by the vocal line, but it's not my style of vocal. It's really not my style of vocal. Was it an easy listen? It was pretty easy. Could I listen to it again? Yeah, I could listen to it again. Will I? No. But could I? Yes. I started to see and understand the quality of content of this record. By the time I got to like track 7, I thought, you know what? I see how cohesive this record is and I understand it. Whereas initially, I thought, all right, we've switched it up a bit. All right, we're sort of softening up the sound a little. And by the time I got that far into the record, I thought, I'm liking this as a project. It was good. If I was to rate this record, now we're on to a juicy bit, yeah? If I was to rate this record out of 10, I gave the second album a rating, which I've forgotten. And then when I did the third album, I said, whatever I gave the second album, just give this the same rating, because I feel like they were sort of withholding the same standard, which was a good standard. When it comes to this album, I'd say give it an extra point. So I can't tell you out of 10 what it is, but I think this has been the best Carcass record I've listened to so far. As far as my own personal tastes are concerned, because I like this more mid-paced, groovy, riff-centric project. I felt it was good. And on that note, I'll see you on the flip side. What I'm going to do is go to the Wikipedia page. We're going to learn some history about this record. See if all interesting pops up. I'll see you there. All right, Carcass heads. Peace. Yo, yes now, bless now, people. Don't forget to rest now. Des ROCKSTEADY at King of the Pit TV. We're going to do some research. We just listened to Heartwork by Carcass. All 10 tracks, and then we did a little review. If you want to check that out, that should be already out on the channel. Now we're going to have a little delve into the history surrounding the record. So we got a little bit of info, some food for thought, yeah? If you have anything to discuss as far as what we cover and what we learn on this page, let me know. Any disputes and so on and so forth, I'd like to hear, okay? So first and foremost, there is another album called Heartwork by The Used, which I'm not too familiar with. It was the 8th studio album put out in 2020. Bruh, I don't know anybody who's listening to The Used in 2020. And there was a Butch Walker EP. I don't know who the hell Butch Walker is. Heartwork is the 4th studio album by English extreme metal band Carcass. Oh, actually, let's find out what genre Wikipedia gives it. Melodic death metal, they classify it as, plain and simple. It was released on the 18th of October 93 in Europe and 11th of January 94 in the US. It was recorded in 93, 18th May 93 to 21st of June 93. I wonder how they get this information, you know, the exact dates. It was recorded at Pass Street Studios. It's 41 minutes 55, so a little bit shorter than the album that came before. And it was released on Earache in Columbia, produced by Colin Richardson, who may have done the last record as well, to be fair. Right, so 4th studio album. It was put out by Columbia and Earache, making it the band's only major label release. Carcass fans, do we see that in the numbers? Do we see it reflected in the numbers that this album did? The marketing, the advertisement, the success? or at least the financial and mainstream success. Heartwork has been described as the band's breakthrough and mid-period masterpiece, as well as a landmark album in melodic death metal. The album was recorded at Park Street Studios, Liverpool, and the sculpture depicted on the cover art, Life Support 93, was designed by H.R. Geiger. Who the hell is that? Swiss artist. And there's an update of a sculpture created in the late 60s. The video for the title track features a real-life interpretation of the sculpture, including a human welded as a part of it. The album was reissued as a dual disc on the 2nd of June 2008. Until 2021's Torn Arteries. What album was that then? The 7th. So they took a while to get to the 7th album, considering it didn't take them too long to get to the 4th. I guess they broke up, didn't they, for a little bit? Until Torn Arteries, this is the only Carcass album to have the same lineup as the previous album. Guitarist Michael Amott left the band after the recording of the album before founding Spiritual Beggars, which is a Swedish stoner metal band. Guitarist Michael Amott left the band after recording of the album and was temporarily replaced by Mike Hickey. In the Pathologist's report, Bill Steer says Heartwork is his favourite Carcass album. I wonder why. Release. Heartwork sold at least 81,000 units. It spawned one single under the same name that featured the title track and non-album tracks This Is Your Life and Rotten Roll. In the reissue, in 2008, it was part of an ongoing series of Carcass reissues to tie in with their reunion. The main album is presented as one side of a dual disc, while the DVD side features the fourth part of an extended interview/documentary titled The Pathologist's Report Part Epidemic. Also included is the reissue of a bonus disc, including the entire album in demo form. Something recorded by the band before recording the actual album in an effort to be better prepared. The demo features the same songs but in slightly different order. Later editions have the DVD on a separate disc, bringing the total to 3 discs. This album is presented in a 12-panel digipack with full lyrics and artwork. Critical reception. Heartwork is widely considered to be one of the greatest death metal albums of all time. That's surprising to me. Not that it isn't a bad record. Not that it is a bad record. But its sound is so separate to what one may consider, death metal. And and as far as its marketability to metalheads, it's In an October 2007 interview, Evil frontman Matt Drake described Heartwork as just one of the best albums ever. Hank Steamer of Pitchfork described Heartwork as Carcass's mid-period masterpiece, praised the album as being perhaps the greatest example to date of an extreme metal band, nodding to the polish and swagger of above-ground rock while retaining their core ferocity. Fair shout. Johnny Loftus called the album the band's breakthrough release on AllMusic and suggested that while some purists may decry its melodic breaks for soloing or nods towards conventional structure, Heartwork is that rare album that so carefully dissects and reconstructs its original form that its additional body parts seem that they were there all along. In May 2013, Heartwork was inducted into the Decibel Magazine Hall of Fame, becoming the 100th overall inductee and the second Carcass album to be featured in the Decibel Hall of Fame right after Necrotism. In 2017, Rolling Stone ranked Heartwork as 51st on their album of the 100 greatest metal albums of all time. Legacy, the band Carnal Forge named themselves after the song of the name from this album. Who the hell are Carnal Forge? Death thrash band from Sweden, eh? AllMusic gave it 4.5 out of 5. Collector's Guide to Heavy Metal, 8 out of 10. Entertainment Weekly, C+. Entertainment Weekly. Yeah, I assume they wouldn't have thought much of Carcass, right? Los Angeles Times, 2 out of 4. Q. This will be the major labels links, getting them to LA Times and Entertainment Weekly and stuff. Q got them 4 out of 5. Rock Hard, 9 out of 10. And Rolling Stone, 3.5 out of 5. So that's interesting. I think generally across the board, the last record got more. They gave it 9.7 out of 10. One of them, as far as the last record is concerned. Let's give some rate to the personnel. We've got Jeff Walker, vocals and bass, Michael Amott on guitar, Bill Steer guitar, Ken Owen on drums. Bill Steer played all the rhythm guitars on the album. Additional personnel: Keith Andrews, engineer, Dave Butchanan, assistant engineer, Colin Richardson, production, Andrea Wright, assistant engineer, HR Geiger, front album sculpture, Jörg Kummer, photo, Andrew Toy, design. Right, there we go. So that's some info in regards to Carcass. If you want me to go onwards in my Carcass journey, or if you want me to check out any other more death grind adjacent acts like Cattle Decapitation or something like that, let me know. And we'll go from there. I'll see you there. Peace.